Shri Thanedar joins us. Congressman, very good afternoon to you there. And it's 3:45 a.m. here in New Delhi. What are your takeaways from that opening press briefing by the two leaders?
Well, this is a historic meeting. This is their third meeting, but perhaps the most important meeting because there is a lot of tension right now. Tariff, immigration, visas, H-1B visas. There are a lot of issues right now that are between these two countries. President Trump coming after a historic win and a win in the U.S. Congress as well as U.S. Senate. So he is riding high. He's coming in with a much stronger approach towards India. He called India the tariff king. So he comes in with a lot more firmer position here in their third meeting.
And, I found it interesting, he sort of softened his position. He said that, we are great friends, both Prime Minister and him, and of course the two countries, and a lot of warm, effusive words there by President Trump. And then, of course, he began by saying that we have a lot of oil and gas, and they need a lot of oil and gas, so there is coming together on that front. So that's typical Trump speak. But by and large, I would say it was more win-win, more positive vibes coming out of that joint statement, opening comment from the two leaders, Sri.
I felt so too. I think there is still a good chemistry between the two, but it didn't seem as warm as it was in Howdy Modi in Houston, or it wasn't as warm as in Ahmedabad with Namaste Trump. Here it looks more, a little more stress I saw, a little more tension I saw in the air. And I saw a Trump that was coming in more as a businessman saying we need a fair trade between the two countries. And he is coming off with a presumption that Indian tariffs aren't fair enough.
Right. And how do you see this comment by Prime Minister Modi? When he said President Trump is synonymous with MAGA, Make America Great Again. Similarly, I am known for talking about a developed India by 2047. Like President Trump, it's nation first for me. So nation first for President Trump, nation first for me, and then still we'll find a common ground. I think the Prime Minister really sort of drawing a red line that, okay, fine, you do what you want to do, but then we also have our own objectives. He mentioned that he represents 1.4 billion people and he has to take care of them.
Yeah, and I saw a little bit of that on both sides. Both sides came in a little bit on a high horse, so to speak. And even though they praised each other, and clearly they have a lot of respect for each other, they both came in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, a little bit about, independence, a little more, combative approach, a little passive aggression that I saw a little bit in both of these leaders.
Since you are a Democrat, did you see a bit of a statesmanship there from Trump? I would say, twice questions were thrown at him where he could have panned the Biden administration. One was on Bangladesh when he was asked whether the U.S. deep state was involved, and then on the U.S. aid, AID, and when he was asked about whether USAID was involved in any manner in the 2020 verdict. So Trump sort of, deflected completely the Bangladesh question, said, let the Prime Minister, I would leave it for the Prime Minister. And then on US aid also, he sort of said a lot of bad things happened, but did not really say particularly anything specific on the possibility of the 2020 verdict having been hijacked or something like that. I mean, he was very measured, not typical Trump.
No, and look, Bangladesh is not just an India issue. It is an international issue, and U.S. has an ability to put sanctions on Bangladesh. And I hope in these discussions, Prime Minister Modi stresses upon President Trump that United States need to take a firm stand on. I, as a congressman, have asked the previous administration to put sanctions on Bangladesh because of the violations that they've done against the Hindus, the Christians, the Buddhists, and I'm sure and I'm hope that Prime Minister Modi ji would also ask for that. This is not just, unlike what Trump said, this is not just an India issue. United States have a key role to play to ensure that human rights are enforced all across the world.
Right. Fantastic to have you, Shri Thanedar, there and sharing your thoughts. I think some great things are building up. And of course, there is a bipartisan consensus, as they say on the Capitol, on India-US partnership. Before I let you go, my last question to you, Shri. You think that the joint statement that comes out of the delegation level talks is actually going to take the India-US relationship one notch higher from where the Biden administration left, just as the Biden administration had taken it one notch higher from where the earlier Trump administration had left?
I believe so. Overall, I have a good positive feeling that is coming out of this historic meeting. But one thing is very clear. President Trump expects a fair trade agreement. So he would like to see the same level of tariff on both sides. Not a one-side deal. India currently has a substantial trade balance, about 30 to 40 billion dollars, and that needs to. Trump would want that to be closed, and Trump wants to make sure that United States gets a fair trade deal. But this meeting between these two good, charismatic leaders have gone a long way in establishing a much solid relationship. And and I think there's going to be a more collaboration on defense, in energy, in every aspect of commerce. But at the same time, the questions didn't come up about the H-1B visas or the immigrants who were sent back, in a subhuman way. All of those issues, I hope, get discussed and become part of this meeting.
Right. Thank you so much, Shri Thanedar, Congressman Shri Thanedar, there joining us with his perspective on the Modi-Trump meet.